Joshua Hayward, and thanks for joining me for life readings this week in the stars and cards. And let me extend an invitation to you to join me each week as I explore all the possibilities and the challenges and the opportunities for inward growth and outward effectiveness. And this is brought to you by Breath of Life School in Yellow Springs, Ohio, and many blessings. Enjoy. So let me ask you, are you living in the now? Or are you living in the past? Or are you thinking about the future? I'm asking about now. How do you feel really about yourself in this moment? Okay, so because we're coming out of a really powerful moment right after that eclipse. I'm filming this on Saturday, the 20th, I believe, and yesterday was the eclipse early in the morning. And that eclipse was really long, and it was the color of blood. And for a minute, or actually more like between 3 and 4 hours, of course most of us were asleep, but still, in that period of time, we were eclipsed from our past. We were eclipsed from our future. We have 2 weeks before the solar eclipse that comes on December 4th at 12 degrees of Sagittarius, by the way, right on the ascendant of the United States chart, if we're keeping track of anything like that. Seems kind of important. So anyway, I'm coming back to it. In the now, how do you feel about who you are now? Not how do you feel about what you're doing or what you're going to be doing, but who are you? That snapshot that we saw, in the macrocosm at least, right after that eclipse, we saw, and let me preface this by reminding you how seldom I ever refer to public, or big events in the macrocosm. But immediately after that, we had the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict come out. Not guilty on all counts. And probably we kind of saw that coming. Now, in and of itself, it's pretty important, to the people that it affects and everything. But in the bigger picture, it's important to us as a signal, as a metaphor, as a sign of things to come. Now, I mentioned, how, I predicted the Saturn-Pluto conjunction to be maybe the end of the patriarchy, and not maybe, but definitely. Now, I still say that that's true, but apparently with that decision, it's a signal that the patriarchy is making a final stand. And we are definitely in a civil war. Okay? And so this forebodes some really intense things. Now I want to back off from that. And I want to ask you again, what do you want to take ownership of? Do you want to take ownership of the events of your life? Or do you want ownership of you? I'm saying this because the north node of the moon in January, somewhere in later January, is turning to the Taurus Scorpio polarity. The north node of the moon is moving into Taurus. This eclipse that we had was late in Taurus. During January and February, the degree of that eclipse will be the north node of the moon will hit that. So we're really looking at what's coming up, 18 months or so of that Taurian type of energy. So we had best decide who we want to be, not necessarily what we want to do. Although what we're doing, is always important. For certain, we're living in the physical world, but it's time to make peace, isn't it? And this is in the now. The now is always the now, no matter where you happen to be, it is in the now. And that's what I want to make you aware of, because it's so important. The world around us is not going to move into peace. It's not going to move into harmony and understanding. That much is clear now. We're moving deeper and deeper into the bifurcation of realities. Maybe a splintering of many realities. So what I'm saying is to choose your own. Okay? And there's so many things that are coming up, we got Neptune stationing on December 2nd, and we got the second eclipse on December 4th, maybe even less than a couple of days away. I think that the eclipse on December 4th will be the rise in Sagittarius here. I'm thinking the rise of ideology in a very fanatic way. And so there's lots of possibilities here. And anyway, so we're going to move right on into doing the cards here. And I would suggest, for myself anyway, I'm choosing to own who I am, everything that I've done right up to now. I'm owning my ego's shortcomings. I'm opening up my soul to come forth. And what I value and what I want to own is a relationship between my ego and personality with my soul energy to bring me closer to that peace and understanding of God within. Moving in, I want to be in ownership of me relating to Christ consciousness. Hopefully, it's up to you what you want to choose. And so here are the possibilities. The Fool, strong possibility of just a whole new start, releasing all the crap from the past, opening up to a new identity that is one with Spirit. When we relate to what we've achieved and we're performance-oriented, we can only reach our condemnation, because we will always fall short. Okay, so the Fool is saying let go of that. Because what we see with that is the Eight of Swords. Swords being the mind. This right here is interference. I've been getting this in my own personal readings quite a bit. I've been seeing this card pop up. This is when you relate to things too much from outside in. And so then, of course, that stuff interferes with you. Okay, so letting go, a new start. Letting go of all those thoughts that are just projections. You projecting, others projecting on you. Okay? It's not about that anymore. And it's to look deep into the core. The Four of Cups has to do with family. It has to do with home. It has to look at really feeling solid. This isn't out there in your profession. This is in the comfortability of your own home, and the privacy of your own home, and the privacy of your soul, of who you are. This is the Four of Cups. This really is, the moon is in Cancer here. So it's really being comfortable. Are you nurturing yourself? Are you nurturing your soul? And we have the teacher. That's the wisdom card. The Hierophant, the teacher, God's teacher on earth. Here, because we have a reckoning happening right now, we're moving into some really intense stuff. There's a tremendous possibility of violence in the outer world. Just, you can feel it kind of coming. It's mounting up. We saw what happened last January 6th. We've seen so much in the news. But all right, and with the Hierophant, the teacher, this card is pointing you to your heart right here. And there's this new child that's being born. And this is the child of you connecting with your soul, born in Christ consciousness. Is that, let me ask you, in the now for you, is that what you want to own? That place where you connect with spirit, with source energy, like Jesus of Nazareth taught us, to be right there in that heart. Not looking to all the rules and regulations that churches and politicians, those type of people who seem to be in authority. This card, and I believe that Christ consciousness is moving us into being our own authority. That's in the now what we need to own, okay? Because there's a real strong possibility of, well, there's just that reality. It's not just a possibility of this life that we're living right now being invaded by the darkness more and more and more, spreading. And I don't really want to be a downer here, but here's the whole thing that we're facing right now. Do you want to awaken that Christ consciousness in your own heart? And that's what I would at least project to you. Maybe it's a projection, but I should ask you that. Is that what you want to be in ownership of? Because my guess is the other stuff that's possible is stuff that sensitive souls might not want to choose. But we can come into our power by stepping out of the extremes here. Into the heart and letting God speak to us from our heart, and so telling us who we really are, Christ consciousness running our lives. Okay, here's another card. And what that's saying is this is the new way to be, the Ace of Cups. And interesting that I would mention Jesus. And here is the Holy Grail, the Ace of Cups right here, from whence all healing and all life and all energy, all nurturing flows. Okay, so that's that new start that's possible for you. We're looking at this week, and we're looking at in between these two eclipses, and in between now and later on in January, where it pretty much all starts again. But what's that going to be like? But bring your consciousness now, even though I kind of encourage you to go there into the future. Come back into the now and how you feel it. Do you want this new beginning? Okay, it's yours if you want it. Let's go with a card that I just pulled, the Knight of Discs, the Knight of Earth. As we open to these things, we step out of that interfering energy, down, go into the deep, into the depths of your soul. then you begin to see there's a vision here. There's waves of a vision coming off this shield of this Knight of Earth. He's beginning to look around and to see what he can do on the earth. This is what you can do on the earth in these end times, which are what Christ consciousness can make it for you. So, here's what your position can be moving in, that Knight of Discs, moving in to the now. Feels pretty good to me. This is Joshua Hayward, reminding you that seeking the divine in all things will lead you to the power of the teachings that just emanating from this reading here, this life reading.